Hey there, everybody. Sean Larson, realtor here in the Franklin Brentwood, Tennessee area. Just wanted to share some information with you about closing and move in times. Buyers always have the question, when do I get to move in? Well, there are a couple things that are going to determine that. When you submitted an offer and solidified a contract, there was a section in there to help define that. Options in our area are usually date of deed, which is when closing is finished. You may have also arranged either an early or a late occupancy, depending on the logistics of the buyer and seller. But let's elaborate for a second on date of deed and how that relates to closing. Most buyers think once they sign the paperwork that closing is done, the home is theirs, they're ready to rock and roll. Well, if that buyer is using financing, there's also another step to closing, and that is when the financial institution funds the loan. That usually happens later in the day. And until that happens, a seller has the right to deny access to the property. Usually not a problem, it usually happens pretty quickly. But let's take this example. If you closed late on a Friday afternoon and you have already passed the cutoff time for the financial institution that day, when is the next business day? Monday. That's probably when the loan will be funded. That could mean your furniture is sitting on the moving truck for all of the weekend. That's usually not something people want. So my recommendation would be to try to arrange closing earlier in the week so you are surrounded by business days and you don't run into that problem. Another thing you might specify as well is the time, not only the date, but the time. Just because you specify a date of move-in or date of possession, that doesn't necessarily mean a time. That may mean 8 a.m. to one person, it may mean 5 p.m. to another person, and that in itself can kind of create a kind of a hiccup there with move-in. So it never hurts to be very specific on that so both the buyer and the seller are on the same page of when possession is going to take place and when the moving truck can be unloaded. So just a few words of wisdom there. Thanks.